Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Park College, home of the Raiders. I'm Justin Borsis, your play-by-play commentator today, alongside Luke Lamont. He's back with us here for this matchup. He is the color commentator today between the Moore Park Raiders and the College of the Desert Roadrunners, all the way from Palm Springs. We're going to start with Moore Park. They come in with a 21-7 record and 5-0 in conference, although they did lose their last time out 7-3. They're 11-4 at home, 7-2 on the road, and have won 12 of the last 17 games. When we look at College of the Desert, struggle for them, 9-19, but strangely 6-4 in conference play. And they are struggling on the pitching department with a 6.5, almost 6.5 ERA, 6.33 to be exact. For the Raiders, Luke, what are they going to have to do to rectify their loss last time out, get back in the win column?
Just go back to their normal sort of deal. I mean, the biggest thing that they always have in the advantage is Lindsey Cohen's pitching. A 1.22 ERA, very dominant compared to the 6.3 that you mentioned. For the Roadrunners, all Moore Park has to do is just play their kind of game, and they'll get right back into the win column.
And for College of the Desert, you just mentioned, what are they going to have to do to really right the ship? They still have a chance, considering their strong conference record, to make a push here.
I mean, the field has to do everything they can to help their pitcher. You got to make the throws on time, get as many outs as you can, clean ground balls, catch all the pop flies. You got to help out your pitcher and try to lower that ERA and keep it contained.
A team with 61 total errors on their season, so they're going to have to tighten it up. We're going to give you the starting lineups, starting with the Roadrunners. We have Davia Hines. She will bat first. Number 4, she's the designated player, followed by number 20, Natalie Avila. She will catch today. Lauren Robinson bats third. She plays third base. Jaden Olsen will be at first base. She bats fourth. Beyonce Mondragon, she will be the second baseman, batting fifth. And Portia Miranda will play shortstop. She bats sixth. Annabelle Anador will bat seventh. She will be in left field. Jessie Rios will pitch. She bats eighth. Elizabeth Olivas bats ninth and plays in center. And in left field, and not in the lineup, she is the flex player, only in on defense, Natalie Maldonado. Now we go to the Raiders starting order, starting with Marley Taormina. She will catch and bat first. Gabriela Niebla will play center and bat second in the order. Lindsey Cowens, the aforementioned pitcher, is not starting today. She will play third base, batting third in the order. Alexa Martinez will bat fourth. She plays first. Liana Venegas will be the designated player. She bats fifth. Mallory Aklagi will bat sixth, and she plays second. Grace Heidman will bat seventh. She is in left. Alana Long will bat eighth. She's at shortstop. And batting ninth, Danielle Heidman will be in right. And Saren Horton will actually start today, so that could be a big storyline. She comes in with a 4.86 ERA, so one of the struggling pitchers, but will look to right the ship today. She is pitching, of course, and in the flex position, not in the batting order, only in the field. As we get set to start this game, stay with us, everybody. And welcome back, everybody, as both teams are getting set to play this ball game. Raiders come out to the field to throw a couple of warm-ups around. We'll get ready to bring you the first batter of the College of the Desert order. Again, Saren Horton starting today's game. She comes in with, this would be only her 7th game started, 4 wins, 2 losses. Again, we spoke about the high ERA, both pitchers with high ERAs, because Jessie Rios comes in. This would only be her 4th start of the year. She's only appeared in what would be her 5th game now, and she comes in with an 8.22 ERA. So this could be a very high-scoring game between both these clubs.
Well, especially got to factor in the 61 errors for the Roadrunners on the season. And compared to Moore Park's 25.
Defensively, College of the Desert clearly at the moment the weaker team, but they could tighten that up today. Davia Hines, the designated player, to lead off. And interestingly, she has the most errors on the team at the moment with 14. So, obviously, putting her in the DP position makes it easier on the Roadrunners. Less of a liability in the field. In terms of her batting line, much stronger in that department. 458 average, 15 RBIs. Outside, ball 1. A lot of new faces making starts today for the Raiders nearing the end of the season. Shows bunt, takes a strike. 1-1. Overcast, chilly day here. Hope you had a wonderful April Fool's, or maybe not so wonderful if it's April Fool's. Popped in the air and called off at short. Alana makes the play on the putout.
Solid start to the inning for Moore Park, especially for Horton. A nice 3 pitches and get your first out. A lot of both these pitchers, Justin, in fact, are going to need some help from the field to sort of get their pitch count down, just limit it to, try to get a lot of these pop flies and ground balls and quick, easy outs.
Into the rhythm of the game. First pitch there, strike 1 inside corner. Natalie Avila, the catcher, steps in. Ball swatted foul. 0-2.
Avila, 28 hits on the season.
311 average. As a team, they don't bat all that terrible. A 275 line.
Well, I think the issue mainly comes down to their errors and the high ERAs of pitching. Yeah. As you said, high scoring could definitely be the case here.
374 on base. But it does make the 374 on base is unusually low for a 275 batting line. That's because as a team they have a ton of strikeouts, 130 Ks, as that ball is laced into the gap and splits the outfielders. Holding it first, a long single, not a lot of speed there.
Oh, a great swing of the bat. Ends up dropping, as you said, in between left and center. Results in a nice single. I mean, a 2-1 count when the hit happened. Solid start to the
I think it was a 1-2 count.
1-2? Yeah, 1-2. 1-2. My bad. I got the strikes and balls mixed up.
Upstairs. Lauren Robinson, the third baseman, steps in. 389, second best average on the team. Of Ground ball to third. Double play possibility. There's one. There's two. Raiders end the inning just like that. Saren Horton gets out of a jam. Raiders come up to bat. Bottom one. We're tied. Nothing.
Well, it's a perfect result on that play for Moorpark because you get a nice quick double play. You get, I believe it was only 4 batters. No, it was only
Less
3
than that.
batters.
3
3 up, 3 down.
3 batters on 7 pitches.
That's very efficient and solid, and that's what they're going to need from Horton, especially the in and outfield, to make plays, which they did.
Saren has pitched a lot better over the last month. Spoke about the 4.8 ERA, but it was up near 6.5 to start the year, and she has settled it down. Marley Taormina will lead it off. Raiders a great hitting ball club, average up over 300, 305 on base, 362, and their slugging is 452, so she comes in with a 344 line, 412 on base, 525 slugging. No homers to her credit, but 3 triples and 2 doubles as part of her 21 hits.
Well, you mentioned the homers, Justin. Only 2 players on the Raider roster have put one over the fence. Cohen's with 5 and Martinez with 3.
Alexa is also in the lineup in the 4 hole. So they got the 2 home run hitters batting 3-4 in the order today, right in the middle of the lineup. And here comes Jessie Rios. Blown away, ball 1.
Oh, way outside pitch in the other batter's box. Good job not swinging. Get up in the count early.
In the dirt, ball 2, and then control could be a problem. Because it's only her 5th appearance, there's a much smaller sample size to look at. She's got 7 walks as opposed to 1 strikeout and has given up 18 earned runs. That ball grounded to second in a favorable hitter's count. 1 gone.
An easy start, 2 pitches, nice ground out. Good play made by the second baseman.
Gabriella will step in, the center fielder. .333 hitter. Takes the ball. Ooh, that looked like a good one, but that's a ball.
I think they're going to get that one a little high.
Well, looking nice off speed, but it's upstairs. You know, both pitchers, especially Jessie, is going to need those borderline calls today. See if she gets them.
As you mentioned with the 8.22 ERA. Well, she's down big in this count, 3-0.
Ball 4, that is walk number 8 on the year. And it is the first base runner for the Raiders as now the big boppers of the lineup come in. Lindsay will be first, the team leader in home runs and ERA, the 2-way star for the Raiders. Playing third base today. There goes the runner. Throw to second is not in time. Both the second baseman and the shortstop got crossed there. Stolen base.
Well, that's Gabriella's 7th stolen base on the season. One of the best for the Raiders.
28 stolen bases on the year as a team. That'll be 29 now. 29 stolen bases in 28 total games. So
about a base per game.
Yep. Team that likes to run. There's the first strike of the at-bat. 1-1.
Well, the Roadrunners need to be careful here. You have the best hitter on the entire team, especially with 5 home runs. You don't want to go down 2-0 if you let Lindsay get a
That ball lays past third. Is it fair? No, it's foul. Not by much. 1-2 the count. Ground ball to short. Looks the runner back to second. Throw to first. Got her.
Great fielding so far for the Roadrunners. We mentioned the errors made, but so far pretty solid 2 thrown outs.
Well, and I think part of their strategy, it's obviously very early, but part of their strategy could be to slow everything down. We've seen the fact that Jessie, as that ball is laced into center and caught to end the inning right on the button, but nothing to do for it. So 0-0 after 1. We go to 2. As I was just saying, Luke, I think part of the strategy could be to throw a lot of off-speed junk to make those ground balls a possibility, and it slows the game down.
Sort of give things for Moore to swing at, but nothing that you can really carry very far.
Right.
You got to rely on your infielders
sort
to
of
make the
control
plays.
the game instead of, throw some strikeouts around. Feel like you have to do everything yourself. Might be the strategy for the Roadrunners today.
So don't let Moore play their kind of softball.
Game. Right.
I mean, they got out of quite a good situation. A little bit of a jam. They only had 1 out, runner on second, and 2 of the best hitters on the team up at bat, and they come out with no runs allowed.
Well, because if that ground ball had gone to the other side, it could have been a force out, got the runner to third. You'd still have 2 outs, but closer 90 feet. Beyonce Mondragon will step in. She is playing second today.
Had a nice ground ball for the first out in the previous inning.
Not one of the better hitters on the team, only a 172 average and 10 strikeouts on her line. She's had 25 games played, so, if you're doing the math, that's about, that's about a quarter, 40% strikeout rate.
And only 10 hits on the season as well.
Two-0 count, though, so favorable for her. See if she takes a swing there. That's a strike up in the zone, 2-1.
Horton's still looking for her first strikeout of the game.
And the Roadrunners have been abysmal on the road. 2-9 as that one is popped to right and fielded cleanly for the out by Danielle Heidman, one of the Heidman twins. Both of them in the lineup today.
Well, that's 4 outs on only 10 pitches through the first inning and a third for Horton. And the field's definitely helping her. She's given hittable pitches, but the outfield's making plays.
A correction. That must have been Jaden Olsen now at the plate, because now it's Beyonce, and she grounds out on 1 pitch. So if we're given the right line here, Olsen also not much better. 190 average.
8 hits on the season.
8 hits. Portia Miranda steps in, the shortstop. Laces one to left, foul, out of play.
In this inning, 2 outs, it's been, I think it was the 5th pitch of the inning. So low pitch count.
Interestingly, we try to find a bright spot here. She's hitting 194. And slotted, sort of the lower third of the order. That one's popped up, fielded at second to end the inning. So a quick inning for the Raiders once again. 6 pitches, 3 outs.
I believe it's 13 pitches in 2 innings, 6 outs.
So, obviously, if you're thinking about pitch counts and whether you're going to have to throw Cowens in at the end of the game to close, that may not be the case. Obviously,
right now, not on pace.
Well, it's interesting if we're looking at the statistics. Horton, 4.8 ERA. She's been better over the last month or so. But because of that high ERA, I think the Roadrunners wanted to be aggressive, swing early in the count, see if they can jump the starter early and get ahead before the Raiders decided to punch back.
At the same time, as you mentioned being aggressive, you also want to stay alive and force as many pitches as possible for the hope that she gives you a fastball down the middle or you end up getting walked.
Well, in part because Saren struggles with her control.
Exactly.
And that's where it's interesting that they're still swinging 2-0.
Which is why I was thinking maybe they want to try to up the pitch count as much as possible against Horton.
Liana Venegas steps in, designated player. .354 average, 16 RBIs. Right back to the mound. Good reflexes, out number 1.
That was a shot right up the middle.
And the Raiders are being just as aggressive, swinging first pitch, and right out of the gate we got 1 out. So
I think both teams realize what their strength could be against either of these pitchers, and you want to get balls in the field of play.
Ground ball to third. Swinging the first pitch, 2 gone, and a nice stretch.
2 pitches, 2 outs.
We sort of, before we got on the air, we were wondering, was this game going to take an hour? It could be less than that at this pace. I mean, we're flying through the first 2.
This is one of the quickest. This might be the quickest inning I've ever seen of baseball. I mean, Moorpark.
We'll see. Well, we got another batter here. Grace Heidman steps in.
That's true. Don't count until it's over. I mean, Moorpark only took, I believe, 13 pitches in the first 2 innings. And I want to say the Roadrunners are close to around the same.
Yeah. Strike 1. Home plate umpire hasn't had do a lot of work yet, but there's strike 1 of this at bat. And again, off-speed stuff. No score. Ground ball to third. Fielded cleanly. Throw to first. Inning over. Quick.
5
succinct.
pitches.
5 pitches, and we go to the third already. So clearly both teams coming in with pretty much identical strategies.
I mean, great. The bats are working. We're getting a lot of contact, a lot of
they haven't
balls
found
put into play.
Open spaces for either side yet.
And the fielding's been great from both teams. I mean, we mentioned the errors in the pregame for the Roadrunners. There's been no issue so far.
No issue there.
Hopefully we didn't just jinx them for their sake.
Well, broadcasters jinx, you never know, people. But
I mean, both teams have played phenomenal defense.
Saren gets ready for her 3rd inning of work already. Only 13 pitchers on her line.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see after 2 straight innings of almost identical. A runner on, and then it's just 3 outs.
3 outs clean or a double play to end it.
So we'll see how long the 2 teams kind of go back and forth doing the same kind of thing. If one team tries to switch it up and slow it down to try to strategically get a run, or if they just keep it the same.
So now it'll be the bottom of the order. Annabelle Anador steps in. Strike 1. In left.
Both teams looking for their first strikeout still.
Coming in with a .237 average. That one fouled away. 0-2. 0-2. High, ball 1. See if the Roadrunners change their approach as we get later into this game. See if they start taking some more pitches.
Down in the count.
Jam shot into center field and the first hit of the game.
There we go. Another runner on first now for the Roadrunners.
Never mind. I think it was the second hit of the game.
The first hit was a single by the Roadrunners.
Shows bunt. Takes a strike.
Well, the second batter we've seen show bunt in this.
We got our head of production, Michael. He looks over. He goes, that wasn't the first hit. I'm like, are you sure? No, the first hit of the game was the first batter of the game, and then we hadn't seen a hit since. Bunt. Clean. Second base. And they won't throw to first, but the bunt doesn't work. They were trying to get the runner over on a sacrifice, and instead it's a force out.
Well, smart decision going to second, keeping only a runner on first. It looked like they could have possibly turned the double play.
I think it was a good decision holding off. I think it would have been too close.
Don't want
to risk an error there.
Yeah, don't want to miss throw, and then you end up with a runner on second anyways.
Elizabeth Olivas will step in now. We'll go back to Davia Hines after her at bat. She's in center. Good pitch, called a ball, 2-0. There's 1, 2-1 count. Showing bunt, popping it up, and unable to make the play is Tarmina, the catcher.
We haven't seen more than one runner on bases at a time. We've seen two runners on first for the Roadrunners and one on second for the Raiders.
So we went from aggressiveness in the first inning, and now we're playing small ball, top 3.
And second batter in a row, that's bunting.
2-2, not bunting now, swinging away, jam shot over the third baseman's head, and into left for a base hit, 2 runners on. Cowens couldn't make the play, another jam shot, pulled her hands in.
Roadrunners finally taking advantage on offense. First team to have 2 runners on, as we just mentioned. See if they can capitalize off of it. They're back to the top of the order.
Top of the order now. Elizabeth, 176 average. That was only her 7th hit on the season. But it works just the same. 2 on, 1 out. Biggest threat to this point for the Roadrunners. There's a strike.
Well, the top of the order, Davia Hines leads the team for the Roadrunners in hits with 38 on the season.
In the dirt, good block by Tarmina. One. That ball is laced into the gap and carrying and gone. A line drive homer. 3-run shot, and all of a sudden the Roadrunners have a lead.
Well, the first home run of the season for Hines, and a shot that was dead center just about.
I didn't know if it was going to get over. It was such a line drive and moving so fast. And all of a sudden it just got over the fence, and look at this, a 3-spot.
We went from the quickest first 2 innings to 3-0 lead with only 1 out now.
And now we have Ashley Colon, who came over to the home plate umpire, having a conversation about something. And now she's going over to first base. I don't know what the conversation could be because everything looked clean from our vantage point.
Seemed as if.
Was she, the only other thing I could think of is if any of the runners passed each other as they were rounding the bases,
No.
because that would be an automatic out. But I didn't see an issue there.
No changes. Still 3-zip.
Ball 1. So we talked about if the Roadrunners could jump on the Raiders early, and that's exactly what they've done here with this 3-run homer.
Well, that homer boosts Horton's runs allowed on the season up to 33.
See what that ERA just ballooned to. We can do the mental math here, but there's a strike. So after getting shell-shocked, we'll see if Horton can settle it back down here. It all started with a couple of jam shots. That's all you really need. A jam shot to center and a jam shot over the third baseman's head into left. Ground ball to short, backhanded. Nice play. Throw to first and 2 down. Along with a great play at short.
Well, that's exactly what Moore Park needed. Nice quick out after the home run. Sort of settles things down, as you mentioned. Horton definitely with a good response to the home run given up.
Lauren Robinson, third baseman, steps in. Strike 1. And the other thing, you know, I noticed about that pitch, it was left right center cut, and a lot of the pitches that have been in the zone for Sarin so far have been in those spots. That's a better placement, doesn't get the call. One pitch. What a fooled swing that was. A nubber right to the pitcher, and that will end the inning. An off-speed something that just completely fooled Lauren Robinson, and that will end the inning. But the Roadrunners strike for 3 on a Davia Hines homer to center field. It's 3-0. We go bottom 3.
We'll see how the Raiders respond. I mean, I don't know if they're necessarily used to this situation. Just a big 3-run homer after they've been playing great ball so far.
Well, I'm not sure if they've been used to being down from the beginning very often. We saw in our last time we were here when the Raiders played the Wolverines that they were up by 5 going into the 9th. They brought Sarin into the game to pitch. Lindsey Cowens had started. She didn't finish, and Horton gave up 5, but also the defense had faltered. There were a couple errors in the inning, and it ended up 8-8, and then the game went into extra innings. The Raiders ended up winning on an error from the opposing team at third base. But they had been up at that point. We'll see how they handle being down an early 3 spot. Alana Long, bottom of the order, 8-9, and then Tarmina.
Well, definitely, I mean, at home, too, the Raiders, as you mentioned earlier, they're 11-4. A very strong home field record. So definitely some advantage in that department, especially a 2-9 record for the Roadrunners
On the
away.
road, yeah.
Well, it's got to boost the confidence
Outside, ball 1.
for the traveling team to go up 3 after a big momentum shifting play.
There's one outside corner. Evens up the count 1-1. Ball outside. So he's given the corner, but not a couple of inches off. Tight zone. Right over the middle of the plate. That's where the ump wants it for a strike call here. Way high and outside. 3-1. Good hitters count. We'll see if Alana decides to swing. Low,
hits.
ball 4.
Well, 18 hits coming into this game for Alana. Ends up walking.
Foot traffic for the Raiders. Run at first. Danielle. One of the Heidman twins. Bunt. Good bunt. Beautiful bunt, but they get the out at first. It's a sacrifice. Works. That was the plan.
Runner on second, one out. It's a good situation for the Raiders. You got to try to chip away at this deficit they're facing.
That's exactly how you do it. I mean, you sort of chip at the ball and hope it dies right on the infield. And Marley stepping in. And a ball. And the pitcher just stared in, and Jessie just stared in like, really? And I believe that was the call. I think she wanted it. That's outside. Ball 2.
Well, struggling start to the inning. We've seen 6 balls to 1 strike thus far on the first 2 batters.
That ball into left, carrying, and it is caught for the out. So just off the end, jammed her a little bit.
Puts a little damper on the inning for Moore Park as they had a runner in scoring position, 1 out.
Well, and you try to get the runner to third with less than 2, but ground ball back to the pitcher. How about that? Inning over. Still no hits on the leisure, and Jessie is working a no-no through 3.
And that was almost identical to what we saw in the last inning. Just a nice little ground ball, hops up right in front of the pitcher. Easy out to first. Well, Moore Park's got to place these hits a lot better. I mean, they're hitting it either.
Well,
right
I think the timing has been a bit of an issue because they're not used to hitting a lot of breaking stuff. If they're hitting fastballs, yeah, but
well, as of right now, they're a little bit of a sticky situation going into the 4th. And this marks the halfway point of the game after this half of an inning, and they're without a hit and scoreless. Down
remember,
3.
7 innings for softball, 9 innings for baseball, unless we go to extra innings.
Interesting to see, though, if we get closer towards the end of the innings, if it's a tight sort of game, will both teams, I mean, right now, Rios Huerta has been pitching a pretty solid game.
Right.
I mean, no hits. Horton gave up 3 on the home run. See how she settles in this next inning.
I mean, that's really been her only bad pitch. She got unlucky with a couple of knocks inside, ball 1. Got unlucky with the couple of knocks that led to the homer, but
4 hits allowed.
Inside, ball 2.
And if I'm not mistaken, Justin, I don't think we've seen a single strikeout up to this point. It's been all walks
contact
or
contact
outs.
Yeah. Strike 1, outside corner. Oh, that ball is crushed, and it splits the outfielders again. It'll be a knock. Look at the 2 of them. They're having a little communication between the 2, trying to figure out which route they're supposed to run.
I mean, there's been a home run and 2 shots that have been off the wall for the Roadrunners. So they're definitely getting a lot more power behind their hits compared to the Raiders, who have barely made it out of the infield.
And the runners they've gotten on have been walks. Obviously, no hitter through 3. That's a strike.
Moore Park's got to step it up on all aspects of the ball right now.
Beyonce Mondragon steps in.
Complete control for the Roadrunners.
High. Ball 1.
I'd say so far a lot of smart decisions in the batter's box, whether it's swinging or holding off on the pitches.
Yeah, and the strategy has been, particularly when they adjusted and started trying to bunt runners over and get some foot traffic.
A lot of good
Put
decisions.
some pressure on Saren. That's when things for the Roadrunners seem to turn around. There's a strike, 2-2.
Chance at a first strikeout for Horton. I mean, if you get your first strikeout in a game and it's the only strikeout for either team, it's got to give you some little jolt of confidence.
There's the first one. Well, you called it, really. Good curveball. Right over the middle of the plate. One down off the K.
Exactly what Horton needed. Picks up her 16th strikeout of the season.
There's one. We'll see if Saren now off that K can get into a little bit of rhythm here.
Oh, great first pitch.
And no call. That's a ball.
That was a close one inside there. Only 1-1 in the count.
Ground ball off the glove at third of Cowens, and that probably will be probably an error. I would say it's an error.
I would say, yep.
Yep,
They put
there's
it on
an error.
the board. That could have been.
That's a makeable play. There's an off the hands. Your resident scorekeeper at work.
Well, 2 runners on. Last time
we saw this, there were 3-run bombs. So we'll see. Steer right. Although the previous inning there was a runner on and there was a double play ball, so any number of possibilities. Grounded foul. 0-2. Strikeout would also go a long way for Horton.
Yep. Take away the chance of a sacrifice fly situation to advance the runners. You can get it to 2 outs here.
Ball. 1-2.
Amador down in the count.
Foul. And out of play.
Stays alive. Roadrunners looking to pick up a big, what would be their 6th hit of the game. Try to extend their lead.
3-0, 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Roadrunners, no runs, no hits, as that one is into center on the button and caught. No tag, 2 down.
Well, a big break for the Raiders. A nice little pop fly into center that ends up being out.
Niebla makes the play, 2 gone. Be a big deal if Horton can get out of this unscathed, keep it a 3-run game.
Rios up at bat.
Inside corner, strike 1. Ball gets away. Will the runners advance? No, they will not. That play's not over until the pitcher gets that ball in the glove and then resets. You got to remember that. That's why the home plate umpire started sprinting down the third baseline. That's a ground ball to short. They'll take the force at third to end the inning.
Horton does a great job getting out of a sticky situation. In a similar situation, the previous inning ended up giving up 3 runs. Comes out with 0 on that one.
That could loom very large as we get into the later innings of this game. Holding at 3 keeps this competitive for the Raiders.
Make sure it doesn't get out of hand, as
Right.
it very well could have if one hit ends up going the wrong way for the Raiders. Looking at an extended Roadrunner lead, but as you said, they keep it at 3. Big job by the Raider defense.
So it's bottom 4, no hits still. Some broadcasters don't like to talk about it, but we should tell you there is no hits. We're not jinxing anything. The game plays out as it does. We have no control.
Halfway through the game.
Right. That is a massive storyline. We'll see how long it plays out.
Well, could come to an end here as up at bat is Lindsey Cohen's.
Well, again, we don't jinx anything, but Cowens is the best hitter on the ball club. One of the best hitters.
5 home runs. Leads the team.
.319 average, 5 bombs, 23 RBIs. She's the leader in that department as well.
Second in hits with 22. And 23 RBIs by far leads the team. But no runners on base for her to drive in.
See if she can start this off and be the spark plug. First pitch is a bunt foul. Interesting choice from the 3-hole hitter who is the leading home run getter.
Your best hitter come up to bunt. I mean, maybe Moore Park
that
tried
might
to
have
do
been
the same strategy.
Well, that might have been a coaching decision to try to jumpstart something.
And try to just get one of your better players on base.
Outside, evens it up. Swung on in the dirt. Rarely see that from Lindsay. That's 1-2 now.
I think that's one of the first times we've seen one of these players sort of chase a pitch.
Yeah. That one fooled her. I mean, she didn't read that one very well.
Dangerous situation with 2 strikes.
Swung on and missed. There's a K. Off speed inside. That looked like almost like a slider.
Looked as if, and that is the...
that hooked in a very weird, bizarre way.
That is only the 2nd strikeout on the season.
For Jessie.
And a big one it was against the best
huge.
hitter.
Huge K. That one's outside.
A perfect start to the inning. You strike out the best hitter on the opposing team.
Yeah.
Now you got to sort of get through the gauntlet and finish it off if you can strike out Martinez.
Well, technically, she's the best hitter. If we look at average, she's got a .477 line. So
if you get through these 2, you're in a lot better of a spot.
that's also only Lindsay's 8th K on the year. There's a strike right down the pipe, 2-1.
Well, Martinez has 7 on the season herself. Will she be joining Lindsay at 8?
In the dirt, past the catcher, 3-1. I think the off-speed stuff and the junk is really fooling the Raiders at this moment. Fastball hitting team. They're not picking up the spin. That's 3-2. I mean, that one was down the middle, and good hitters count. Raiders didn't swing at it.
Well, now you got a full count. You got to be very careful. You got to pick your pitch.
Fouled off the foot.
I think we're going to see Martinez swinging on a lot of these upcoming pitches, unless they're very clearly not in the strike zone.
Outside, works the walk. Great AB for Martinez.
Forces a high pitch count, ends up getting on base.
Liana Venegas steps in.
Venegas with a
354.
I was ready to say like a .354,
no,
but that's
no,
not how it goes.
No.
Just a 354. 354.
Yeah.
There we go.
There goes the runner, and that ball is laced to short. Nearly gloved. Thrown to first, and way to stay with it at short. Big time play from Portia Miranda.
Looked like a possible error, but ends up keeping it in front. And
ends up being just an out. It could have been, had she caught that, if she stepped in, I mean, because it ended up bouncing, but if she was able to step in, that she could have doubled them off first.
Well, still holding on to that no-hitter. Oh.
And there's a bunt. Runner to third. Is she safe? Runner comes home. And the Raiders get on the board, I believe, without, or did they rule that a hit?
They ruled it a hit. It's a bunt, fair ball.
It's a bunt single for the first hit of the game for the Raiders.
Wow.
And a run scores on the heads-up base running by Martinez. It's 3-1. It's an interesting way to score your first run of the game.
That's a tough break for the road. I mean, that was a close throw, but the
Yeah, I was naked eye. I thought she might have been out.
second baseman had to run over to cover.
Strike one now on Heidman, Grace.
Well, that play worked out definitely in favor of the Raiders.
So no hitter, no more, and the Raiders are on the board. There's a ground ball to third, under the glove of the third baseman. Throw to first, not in time.
Well, is that an error by the third baseman? Did it
that
would go through?
That's an error.
It looked like
that's a hit. No, that's a hit because it was fielded cleanly on the back half, so it doesn't count as an error because the third baseman's glove never really touched it. There's another bunt shown. This one to the catcher and foul. It's spun behind the plate. With the backspin, there's time called. Mound visit now from the catcher.
Well, we'll see if
Natalie Avila is going out to talk to her hurler. She might be a little rocked following that run scoring on that bizarre play.
Well, we talked about how the pitch count could be an issue for both pitchers if they get deep into these innings and are allowing a lot of runners to get more chances, a lot of swings.
Well, I disagree because, I mean, the first three innings were clean.
They were, but
and they only had 13 pitches. So if you're going 60, 70, between 7 innings, it's still not that bad. There's a strike.
It's this inning alone that is
if they get 25 or
hand.
30, then I see where your point comes in.
It's toward this is what Moore Park wanted. This is why they sort of kind of shifted around their game plan, started going as we saw a couple bunt attempts, which resulted as runners on base, and it puts more pressure on Jessie to sort of make these good pitches and rely more on herself to get these outs rather than chancing a hit and an error and possibly giving up runs.
Trying to let her defense do it for her. It's a 1-2 count. Ground ball foul.
Only needs one more out.
Alana Long is trying to make him pay with 2 outs, 2 runners on, 3-1 game. A single will get at least 1 home, maybe 2. Just got a piece.
Big opportunity. I mean, you drive in a base hit, you can cut this lead down to 1.
Ball in the gap may score both. Still 1-2. Lace to third. Oh, what a play. Beautiful glove save by Lauren Robinson to end the inning. But the Raiders get on the board, a run and on a hit. Well, run on 2 hits, actually. And it's 3-1.
Solid inning for Moore Park. Finally got on the board, got on base with a hit.
Well, and it was manufactured, guess what, by the bunt. The bunt started putting the pressure on the fielders and the pitcher because of where it was placed to make a play. And I think that's great strategy by the Raiders to try and get back in this game.
We've seen a lot of bunt attempts from both teams, but I think it's worked more in the favor of Moore Park as the Roadrunners have had, as you said, a lot more of these jam shots and have ended up working better for them with the longer range hits.
Well, and if we look at both teams in terms of their stolen base totals, because that really is indicative of speed, the Roadrunners only have 16 and the Raiders have 28. So that's almost double the number in terms of a speed total, and that's why, if we look at the sacrifices, they're working more in favor. So Horton also, a key factor. That last inning where she was on the mound, had 2 runners on, got out of a jam, kept it 3-0, allowed the Raiders to score that run without being down by a large amount.
This is a big first at bat for this inning. If Horton could get out of here with a quick out, as Hines is due up on deck.
Yep, the big bopper in the leadoff spot. Hines was the one that crushed the 3-run bomb to center. Olivas and Rios were on the bags before that. Ball 1-1. Bottom of the order.
Starting to see both teams get more comfortable, it seems, of this game and kind of settling it down.
Yeah.
Slowing down the pace to their liking.
Now she tries to bunt for a hit. Goes foul.
Still a lot of bunt attempts, just trying to get, seems as if just anything started to sort of jumpstart the inning. I mean, we've seen early success in the inning has resulted in runs for both teams when it happens.
A defensive swing, little pop-up number. What a play in right. Heidman makes the play, sliding. Tougher than it looked. The angle was just brutal, and she was able to make the play.
That was a great job coming down. If you look at the fielding percentage of Danielle Heidman,
hasn't made an error yet.
Perfect. Only one on the team to remain perfect throughout the season. Well, what a way to keep that streak going.
In the dirt. Horton knew she didn't get that one off her hand very clean. 1-1. Much better pitch. Strike 2. One, two. Ground ball off of Horton's glove. Too short. Can't get it out of the glove. Now it's a overthrown ball. I think that one will be a hit.
Right at Horton. And we've seen a couple of these shots right at the pitchers.
It was off the pitcher's glove. Didn't get it cleanly, and that's sort of what ricocheted. Overthrown for, and so they're marking it as an error. I'm not the scorekeeper, folks. Bunt shown, strike 1.
A lot of these bunts are on the first pitch.
Yeah, which would make sense now that there's a runner on base, but.
Oh, one out, and you got one on.
Whoa. Golf to left. And an out. That took a weird trajectory, and able to make the play in left was the other Heidman sister, Grace. The other Heidman sister, like either one is more important. I know about being a twin, so clearly no. Showing bunt again, taking a strike. Lauren Robinson, 3-hole hitter. Ball. She's made some great plays at third base today.
Including the final out of the last inning. And the Raiders had 2 on.
Outside corner. 1-2.
Chance for Horton to get out of this inning with a strikeout of her own.
Fooled off speed, just grounded foul, got her reaching there. In the dirt. 2-2. Grounder to third. Cowens makes the play. Kind of snow-coned it. Ends the inning. 3-1, still your score. Raiders coming up. It's bottom of the fifth.
I'd say it was a pretty solid 2 innings following the 3-run shot inning for the Raiders in the field. They've done a good job at not allowing a runner on base or two to sort of get in their heads. They've done a great job at staying calm, especially Horton, delivering the pitches needed and not giving up anything big.
So Jessie Rios, who has had a superb day on the mound, only 1 earned run on a bunt, 2 hits. And we came in talking about her over 8 ERA. Well, that is a moot point now, as through 4 innings, she has 1 earned.
Definitely going to bring down that average. And both pitchers having a fairly solid day. It's been 1 or 2 pitches that have resulted in the 4 runs that we've seen total.
It's really, you're right. It's been pretty much 2 pitches, and everything else has been completely shut down. And in reality, Horton's under her ERA, if we think about it. 4.8 coming in with 1 bad inning. So,
other than that, she's played a great game so far.
Bottom of the order, then 1 and 2. Danielle Heidman steps in. Takes 1 for a strike. She shows bunt, lays it down. First baseman gets over. Throw there, not in time. Look at Heidman bust it down the line.
Well, bunts are working for the Raiders. That's the second time we've seen a bunt where the second baseman has to run over and cover first, and the throw is not there in time. Great job digging that one out by Heidman.
The speed was just tremendous, and she was able to beat it out. Marley Taormina steps in. Runner goes. Throw to second. Off the glove. Hit the umpire. It's a stolen base. It's an interesting way that they're trying to get the runner here. Normally, you see the second baseman cover the bag, and that's where the throw goes. They're throwing to the shortstop side and trying to get it to cut off.
And that looks like, I believe that's the second stolen base of the game by Heidman. And she had 6 coming in, 8 on the season now.
One the count. Runner in scoring position. Nobody out. Raiders trying to claw their way back. That one's a strike. A good pitch. That one curved right down bottom of the zone. Taormina trying to get at least the runner to third with less than 2 outs. It would be a productive out. 1-2 is popped to center. No, now it's carrying and playable. The runner will tag. It is deep enough, and she does her job. Got the runner to third.
Heidman scoring position now. Good sacrifice fly ball. Interesting to see if we see another. Try to drive one home and cut the lead down to 3-2.
I think the Raiders are realizing that because they're struggling so much with the off-speed stuff, they're trying to manufacture runs the best way they can and find their pitch and are willing to do the sacrifice fly at this point. They have enough time to claw their way back.
You get one of your best base runners on base with a bunt single, then a sacrifice fly after a stolen base. They're at third with 1 out. That's all you really need to do.
1-1 the count.
And if you could get a base hit within your next 2 batters, you're looking at...
Well, that's a bonus. Continuing the inning, 1-1 is fouled away. Niebla tried to pull her hands in, couldn't quite do it.
Looking to stay alive, avoid a strikeout.
High and away, 2-2.
Biggest thing here for the Raiders is the 1 out that's on the board. If this up at bat could produce that sort of big play you need to drive one in.
Well, and if you're the Roadrunners, as that ball's in the dirt, I was just going to mention that a walk isn't the worst thing in the world here. Sets up a double play situation, so they may try to get Niebla to fish here. They don't want to leave something over the middle of the plate. 3-2. Laced foul just past the third baseman.
Oh, look, a little bit of an inside sort of swing.
Well, and here's the dilemma now. You got 3-2, you got a base open, but then you get the middle of the order with Lindsay, who has the most home runs on the team, coming up.
And you paint the corners with runners if you're able to get on base right here.
Lindsay Alexa Venegas is in the hole. Lindsay on deck.
Right now, this comes down to Niebla being able to avoid being that second out of the inning.
Takes a defensive swing. Is it deep enough for the runner to tag? Here she comes and safe, standing up.
Exactly what they need. That's all Niebla needed to do is drive in that second run of the game for the Raiders. Does a great job at doing so, and now we're looking at 3-2.
3-2 game, 2 runs on 3 hits. That's called manufacturing your RBIs.
And now comes the best home run hitter for the Raiders. Second best on the team.
In average.
In average. Leads in home runs. He's got 5.
High. Ball 1.
And no matter what happens at the rest of this inning, you got to consider this inning a win for Moorpark. You give up no runs, end up cutting down into the lead in a good position.
Outside 2-0, and I think they don't want to mess with Lindsay. They're keeping everything away outside of her bat path.
Well, you've done a great job at making Moorpark earn these runs, and why would you want to give someone who can in one shot just tie the game up? I think it's a smart idea avoiding giving Lindsay a shot to tie the game.
2-1 the count. Outside 3-1.
Well, here's your dilemma if Lindsay ends up being walked.
Well,
Martinez is up next.
I would walk. I wouldn't, play with fire with Lindsay. I'd walk her, and instead they will lace. They will leave one right over the middle of the plate and lace it past short. That is at least 2, and
now
she
Lindsay's
will hold
in scoring
there.
Position. And you have Martinez, the best hitter on the team.
And that's why I would have walked her, because at least she wouldn't be in scoring position, and you'd still need a ball in the gap to score her. Now a single could score her. So Martinez with a chance to tie the game. Ball way high. Jessie Rios starting to feel the pressure. Outside 2-0.
Well, do you give their best hitter a chance?
3-0.
So it looks like they maybe
the answer might be no.
Might be walk Martinez and try to get 1 out with 2 on.
Got the corner, 3-1. And I think maybe a bigger dilemma is that Jessie's having trouble finding the zone all of a sudden. Oh, that ball is golfed to left and foul.
I think that one's all the way on the tennis courts. That one is nowhere to be found.
Now full count. The runner may get a head start at second base. Well, they can't really run. You're not allowed to really lead off. In the dirt. Great AB again by Martinez. That's her second walk of the day.
Now you leave two on. Two of the best hitters on the team now on base.
Liana Venegas steps in. Infielder, she's hitting .354, so, you know, the middle of the order not providing any relief if you're the Roadrunners about who to pick out, you know.
And 16 RBIs on the season.
Still, I mean, if I was choosing who to face here, I'd want to face Venegas over Martinez or Cowens.
Well, definitely.
Cowens with the power, Martinez with the average.
I mean, the only two to hit home runs. The only two that could tie this game in one shot so far. And you never know. I mean, there's a chance that anyone else could get a good hold of one. But a base hit here would be huge for the Raiders.
Roadrunner lead, hanging by a thread. 3-2 game, 2 runners on, 2 out. Swinging first, pitch past the third baseman, into left. Runners were moving on contact. Throw to the plate is not in time. Raiders tie it up as Cowens will score. 3-3.
A big hit for Venegas, 17th RBI of the season. Gets herself on first. Exactly what the Raiders needed, tie game. If you look at it from Moore Park's standpoint, you have one tough situation that led to the 3 runs versus you have done a good job at earning these other 3 slowly over time. I'd say the consistency with scoring definitely in favor of the Raiders.
I think that, oh no, they're just looking for new baseballs. I thought there was an issue there, but there isn't one. As Mallory Aklagi steps in with a chance to give the Raiders the lead.
275 average on the season.
Okay, on the tennis courts, I got you.
Well, 10 RBIs on the season.
Ball 1.
And this is a chance where Moore Park could possibly take the lead. If they're able to get one more base hit, possibly.
Strike 1. It's 1-1. 2-1 now. That ball into left, gloved. Big play to save the tie at the moment. Man, Mallory put a right into that one, but it didn't go. So we're tied, though. It's 3-3. Raiders manufacturing 3 runs over the last 2 innings, and we go top 6.
And with only 2 innings left, as you mentioned, this is sort of crunch time. I mean, even one big error could result in costing the game for either team. I mean, 1 run.
Well, we saw a walk-off on an error the last time we were here. Is that what's going to happen again?
There's a chance.
You can
tie it up.
You never know. Saren Horton back out there.
I mean, look at the scoreboard. I mean, the only team, 2 errors for Moore Park, but 5 hits for both, 3 runs for both. Very similar games.
Luckily for the Raiders, those errors did not come back to haunt them on the scoreboard.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see, I'd say 2 to 3 bunt attempts in the first 3 batters up.
We'll find out.
It's been the strategy so far for both teams, really. We've seen at least a bunt or so in the top 3 of the order for the innings.
Jaden Olsen stepping in. .190 average, plays 20 games. coming into today, 42 ABs. That one is down, ball one. Way high. Made Marley had to stand up out of her crouch. 2-0. That one in there, inside corner, 2-1.
Not very aggressive to start on this up at bat. Well, when you think about it, game's basically back to the beginning, right where we started.
Wipe it clean, clean slate, 3-3 score, 3-1 count though.
Well, for both pitchers,
That ball third, past Cowan's glove, in the hole, base hit, single to left.
okay, I'll say it because the point still stands. Both pitchers averaging about a hit given up per inning at this rate. 5 through 5, and now 6 to start the 6 for Horton.
You know, we didn't mention how important the flex position is here in softball. Flex means, as this pitch is delivered for a strike upper third corner. Flex means that a player can be written into the lineup card but not as a member of the batting order and only playing in the field. At this moment, Horton is the flex player, which means that if she is taken out, either she or someone else would have to fill that position, and Cowens would probably close the game if that's what the Raiders choose to do. That ball in the dirt. Marley able to juggle and field it. That was tough. 2-1.
Keeping it in front.
So we'll see if that becomes a big deal and they move some defensive players around with a 3-3 game. It could be very possible that Horton goes the entire 7 required. Outside. 3-1.
Chance to get runner in scoring position. Would put Olsen at second.
Laced into center. There's a big clean knock. Fielded. 2 on. Nobody out. Trouble brewing again for the Raiders. Roadrunners threatening.
Last time we saw this situation, Horton ended up coming out of the inning with nothing allowed. But that was with, I believe there was already an out on the board the last time we saw this. This time she's dealing with no outs. 2 on.
And really it was a combined average just up over 200 for those 2 hitters alone. There's a bunt down the third base line, rolls foul, trying to get the runners over with less than 2 outs. And that's really a bailout because you notice that it was, to both those hitters, a good count. 3-1, 2-0.
Well, and up at bat,
Portia Miranda, she's one of the solid hitters. 262 coming in. There's a bunt. They're going to throw to third and get the lead runner.
Well, smart decision making going to third on the force to pick up the first out. Now you're in a situation.
I mean, you're just replacing the runners, and now there's a possibility for a double play ball. So it didn't accomplish the goal that the College of the Desert players wanted there. Annabelle Amador steps in, 237 average.
Well, neither runners that are on base have a stolen base to their name this season.
Strike 1. Laced past the bag into left. Are they going to send the runner? No. Everybody holds up. Loaded.
Well, and up comes the pitcher for the majority of this game. All of this game for the Roadrunners. We got Jessie Rios at bat.
And we haven't really spoken about her batting line much today. She comes in a 262 hitter. And if you look at the sample size, even though she doesn't have the highest average on the team, it's not terrible in an RBI situation.
She's
Ball
got 7
one.
on the season, bases loaded.
Double play ball gets out of the inning. A sac fly drives in the go-ahead run. Outside 2-0. Horton is feeling the game pressure all of a sudden.
I mean, you think about this. If they could get a ground ball line drive in between any of these, maybe in center and right field, left, you're looking at possibly a 2-run lead now.
3-0.
Well, if you're Horton, you definitely don't want to give up a free run without giving out a hit. If you're Walk here with the bases loaded.
Yeah, a walk would be disastrous. 3-0 pitch. Ball 4 walks in the go-ahead run.
That pushes the lead to 1 now for the Roadrunners.
And here's the here's another big question. How long do you let her go? Cowens did not take any warm-up pitch or bullpen session from what I saw earlier today before this game. Shows bunt, takes high, ball 1.
And the biggest thing here is it comes down to Horton has to get, I'd say, a strikeout right here. You don't want to necessarily chance, unless there's an opportunity for a double play. Sacrifice fly still drives in 1 run, and you'll have the 2 outs, but you'll most likely have a runner at home and a runner on third and second, or yeah, third and second, maybe first.
1-1 count. 1-2 count. Defensive swing foul. Still 1-2.
She's got to stay alive in this count. And Olivas has a great chance here to extend her team's lead. And if you look who's in the on deck, Justin.
It is the top of the order, and the young lady who decided she was going to hit a 3-run bomb, Davia Hines. 2-2.
So this results in a chance where there's 1 out and bases are still loaded, and Hines is up. Moorpark could be, let's just say, down in the dumps.
Defensive swing and gloved at first. Big out. Lined right to the glove of Alexa Martinez.
A huge reaction play. Great catch on the line drive. Now 2 outs, but bases loaded. Hines is up. Already drove 1 over the fence today.
Laced, and that's a knock. It'll score at least 1. Here comes the second runner to the plate. And the Roadrunners score 2 more. It's a 3-run game once again. 6-3 the score.
That's where the batting order came up huge. You allow Hines to get up to the plate, drives in 2. Another 3-run inning courtesy of Hines driving in.
Yeah,
the
she's
final
had all
third.
6. Well, with the
She's
exception
been-
of the walk, she's had 5 of the 6 RBIs today.
5 runs coming off of her bat alone.
Yeah. And Tarmina went out to have a conversation with her hurler.
Well, 3 hits given up in this inning. Runner still in scoring position.
Popped to third. Playable for the out. And that'll end the inning. But the Roadrunners with a crucial 3-run inning late in this game. They take a 6-3 lead.
That was a big inning for the Roadrunners. You end up taking a 6-3 lead. And 9 hits on the game.
Got you. Well, we knew what the numbers were. We just didn't know how to work the machine.
6 runs on 8 hits all of a sudden.
Guess total? Oh, okay. Just set the guess score? Yeah, you just hit set, and then whichever one. It'll be whatever inning. Yeah, so inning.
Well, I think Lindsay's hitting the bullpen at the moment.
Yep, she is going to close out this game, it appears. She's going to go warm up for a bullpen session.
I mean, with 2 innings left, you need to muster up 3 runs.
Which means then that the designated or the flex position is going to change. Because I don't think they're going to take her bat out of the order. So who slots in to Saren Horton's spot unless they're allowed to bat 10? That's the real question here, and we'll have to see where that goes.
Well, we'll see what the coaching staff decides to do. Right now, Moore Park on a hot streak on the offensive end. They scored in the last 2 innings, managed to tie the game, but then gave up 3 right away. So in these next 2 innings, if they can manage to get 3, the idea is that Horton won't give up a run in the final inning.
Unless they throw Lindsay.
Cohen's, Cohen's.
If they throw, we can't confirm, but if they throw, the appearance is that they will throw Lindsay in there to finish.
But if Cohen's is warming up, I'd assume the idea is she'll come in, and you hope that she shuts the Roadrunners out for the remainder of the game.
Heidman takes a strike, shows bunt, and it's now 1-1. Outside, 2-1. Defensive swing into center, it'll fall. Base hit.
Good way to start the inning. Nice base hit in the center field. You got a runner on with no outs now on first.
So Grace Heidman is on. Alana Long steps in. First pitch, defensive swing. Couldn't get there in time. Off the top of the fence, foul. 0-1.
And Heidman, it looks as if Heidman has no stolen bases on the season. And Danielle has 2 in this game.
Daniela has 2, yeah.
0 stolen bases.
To center. Little carry, not enough. Left fielder comes over, makes the play. 1 down. The Raiders could help themselves a lot here if they get at least 2 in this inning.
Put a lot less pressure in the bottom of the 7th to get 3. If you don't end up getting any runs in this, you got to get it all in the last one.
Yeah, well, we've seen crazier things. Remember, they had an 8-3 lead last time we were here. There's a strike.
Gave up 5. So it's definitely possible that a team can score more than 3 in the bottom 7.
Bottom of any inning, really. Ground ball foul, 0-2 for Danielle Heidman, who will try to drive her sister in with a ball in the gap. Lace to center, gets down, that's a base hit, 2-1. 1 out, and production from the Heidman sisters.
Pretty similar hits as well, dropping right in front of the center fielder.
Well, they are twins. I mean, carbon copy swings. I am also a twin, so I understand it thoroughly. And ball one outside. Marley can tie it with one swing. Takes a ball.
2-0 count. Could we see bases loaded possibly for Moore Park? A walk would do it.
Laced past the first baseman's glove, but hooked just foul. She was right on it, but swung a little too soon and couldn't keep her hips square.
Well, that would have been big if that one ended up
down the line. That certainly would have scored both of them.
Well, that would have resulted in a huge amount of weight lifted off the shoulders of the Raiders.
2-1. Still a good hitter's count. Marley will take a ball. 3-1. Low in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. It wouldn't matter either way. A walk loads it up. And all of a sudden, the go-ahead run steps to the plate in the form of Gabriela Niebla, the center fielder. Takes the ball.
With the bases, I mean, the second time in a row that we've ended up seeing bases loaded. I mean, in the previous inning, or top of this inning, actually.
Niebla, no home runs on her line, and now it's Rios who is dealing with the game pressure with a 2-0 count.
Niebla looking for what would be possibly one of the biggest
ground
RBIs
ball
of her
to
season.
short. They're going to get the force at third. A run will score. They're willing to take the out. 6-4.
And now comes Cohen's, one of the biggest hitters on the team.
Okay, this, talk about storybook. She just spent about 5 minutes in the bullpen trying to warm up, and now she's coming into the game after trying to throw warm-up pitches as the go-ahead run and the leading home run hitter on the team.
What did you think of that? If she hits a home run here, she's the, as you said, the run to take the lead, and then imagine if she comes in the next inning and pitches and could possibly end the game.
6-4 the score. Takes a strike. There's 2 outs. So the Raiders can't get another run on a ground ball. They need a knock. Laced, and watch the dugout. Ouch.
She's definitely swinging what it seems like for the fences here. And she's trying to get a hold of one of these.
Well, now she's 0-2, so she's got to choke up on the bat. In the dirt. Good block, going to third! And safe! They missed the tag. I think that was ill-advised, but it worked out just the same.
I got a runner on second and third. A base hit could tie the game. Base hit could tie the game with Martinez on deck. 2 outs.
Estrin came out to, I don't know if it was really an argument as much as it was just a question of, did she really miss it? So now there's runners at second and third, and a single could really tie it. High, 2-2. And now with a base open, I mean, you got 2 strikes. At this point, it's time to make a pitch. That's really where we're at. If you're the Roadrunners here. Laced, foul again. She's trying to time it up.
Well, this is an at-bat that changes the whole course of the game, whether what happens. An out would be astronomically helpful for the Roadrunners.
You could feel the tension. Cowan's up there battling. It's 2-2. She's being feisty. The pitch again is now popped up. Coming in and making the play. And the Roadrunners escape further damage. 6-4.
That was costly. They only come out of that with 1 run. I mean, you had the bases loaded. You had a runner on third and second. You end up only cashing in 1. You're still down 2. Big. We'll see who pitches this inning.
Yeah, well, this is not only pitching, but who moves into that flex spot.
I think it would be who moves out. Cohen's was playing third base, it seemed.
Yeah.
The majority of this game.
Well, she warmed up
She's
as
going
if she
back
was
to
pitching,
third.
so
they're going to stick with Horton.
Is staying in there. You know, it may be Lindsay was warming up in case things got even worse.
Possibly.
And that was like an emergency.
Also, if Moore Park possibly took the lead, maybe they'd throw Lindsay in to try to just ice
close
the game
right.
and finish it off. But down 2.
Couple of possibilities there.
It's looking like Moore Park's got to play almost a perfect top of this inning right now.
Well, I think if they moved Lindsay into the pitcher spot, they may have had to burn her as a hitter, which wouldn't be beneficial at all at this point in the game. I mean, you need her more for her bat than you do for the arm.
I mean, at the same time, she was the last batter up. So if you started her pitching right now, there's a low chance that she would have another at-bat in this game.
And you want to save her bat.
If Moore Park's going to come out with a win in regulation, the first 7 innings, Cohen's is most likely not going to see the plate again. You're down only 2, and she's
got to
wait for the whole team.
Yeah, she has to wait for.
She's got to wait for
another
8 other.
8 spots. Ooh. Launched. Is that gone? Foul, and not by much.
That hit the storage container
way
off. That was crushed to left field.
All of a sudden, we stared at it. It just kept hooking and hooking. We were like, is it going foul? Oh, man, that ball was launched. Horton, sigh of relief there, 0-1. Off speed this time, timed that one up real well and gloved. Great play in left by Danielle. Or it was Grace, yeah. That's the problem. My twin is the opposite gender. They're the same gender.
Sort of makes it a little easier to tell you guys apart.
Ball 1. Good pitch by Horton there. 1-1 count. Jaden Olsen. Strike 2. Go a long way to make sure Horton tries not to get anybody on the base pass. 1-2 pitch. Grounded to third. Great off-speed move. Throw to first. 2 gone.
Solid start to the inning. Exactly what the Raiders need. Moore Park down 2. Quick 2 outs. It's going to come down to the bats of the Raiders in the bottom of this inning. Whether they can...
Bottom of the inning, Alexa Martinez, Liana Venegas, Mallory, and then if anybody gets on, it'll be Grace Heidman in the hole. Steer right. Defensive swing, foul. I don't know if that made its way into the dugout or not, but everybody looks to be okay. 0-2. Outside. 1-2. Ground ball just squirts through the hole. Didn't have a lot of speed on it, but it found the right spot.
Now the runner on, still 2 outs. Comfortable situation for Moore Park in terms of not giving up another run and allowing the Roadrunners to extend this lead.
Portia Miranda steps in. Delayed move, strike 1. Marley gives a look. Nothing doing. Oh, completely fooled. Oh, wow.
And stealing a base.
Stolen base off because it went off the catcher's mitt. And I don't even know if Marley knew that pitch was coming. It is a swing. It is a strike. 0-2 with a runner at second, outside. Defensive swing. Horton can't get it. It dies at the mound, but able to make the play at second.
Just what they needed. No runs allowed. Now it comes down to the bats. You got to pick up 2 to continue this game. 3 would win it.
So Horton does her job. And the Raiders will have to come up with 2 to tie, 3 to win. Remember, Martinez, Venegas, Mallory. 4, 5, 6. And if anybody gets on, Grace Heidman.
Martinez, one of the better hitters for the Raiders, can end up starting this inning off by getting on base.
Well, and here's the point where you may not be able to afford being aggressive. You might need to start being patient. Only 3 outs to play with a 6-4 game.
Well, now for Raiders, for the first time, the wind's starting to pick up in this game.
Which could help or hurt.
I mean,
depends on the way the ball will carry.
Based off the way the wind's going, it's looked like a home run would be more difficult in this situation, but could help the ball drop.
Right now, the Raiders need men on base. Martinez swings at the first pitch, laces it foul. And it is Rios to finish, so she'll go the entire required 7. Outside. 1-1. Just past and over the netting.
I'm going after your chair again, Justin.
I know. I know. Both games we've been here.
You're just parking it in the perfect spot.
You know,
you should put a glove in the seat and see if you end up catching a foul ball.
Outside. You're right. You're right. 2-2. There's an image for you. 2-2. Popped up Martinez. Playable at second. 1 down.
Tough start to the inning. The 4-pitch count ends up resulting in a pop fly. Let's see if Venegas can get the bats going. I mean, you don't want to get in a situation where you have no runners on and 2 outs if you're Moore Park. You got to get a runner on pretty much at this bat.
First pitch laced again. Nearly the same spot. Foul ball. One and one. That ball is curving, caught. It hung up in center.
Well,
Nice
down to
ride
your last
on it.
out.
Put a nice swing on it, but found a glove. 2 down. Mallory Aklagi steps in.
Well, McClaughey's got to get on base. There's no other option here for the Raiders. I mean, 2 outs. It's got to start now if it's going to happen.
Takes the first pitch strike.
When you think about it, with these 2 outs and down 2, if you're the Roadrunners, you got to be thinking what a big win this would be for you.
Huge win.
I mean, Moore Park undefeated in conference play thus far.
Off the pitcher's glove. That'll do it. And College of the Desert travels 2.5 hours to Moore Park, California, and picks up a huge upset win, a 6-4 victory to improve to 10-19 on the season. Raiders will drop to 20-8 and lose their first conference game, fall to 5-1 in conference play. For Michael Grimes and our entire crew, I'm Justin Borsis, your play-by-play commentator, alongside Luke Lamont, your color commentator today, saying so long and thank you for joining us, and tune in for a couple more baseball games on our slated schedule. Thank you, everybody.